Welcome to the Addicted to DVC podcast, a deep dive into all things Disney Vacation Club. We share tips, tricks, and insider info, helping you make the most of your membership. Join us for the latest news, reviews, and interviews with DVC experts and enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned DVC member or considering your first contract, this podcast is for you. Now, here are your hosts, Mike Hurley and Gary Arruda.
Welcome to the Addicted to DVC podcast with Mike and Gary. This is episode 12, recorded in the D. Fauntleroy Recording Studios in sunny Sarasota, Florida. In Cranston, Rhode Island, I'm Mike in Florida, joined by my cousin and co-host, Gary in Rhode Island. Good evening, Gary.
What's going on, Pards? Welcome back.
Thank you.
Civilization. How good did it feel when that power flickered back on?
I'll tell you what. I was looking today. I was looking at my AC.
Yeah.
As if it was like a Playboy magazine for a 14-year-old boy. I just started staring at my thermostat.
As it's getting lower and lower.
You know, we all think YouTube is one of the greatest. I think air conditioning.
I couldn't live without it. Air conditioning is so amazing. Yeah. I mean, YouTube's great, but if I had to give up one, I'd give up YouTube in a heartbeat over air conditioning.
Yeah, I think I agree.
I mean, especially you living in Florida. You need it 10 months out of the year, basically.
Yeah, you do. Although we do have a cold front, Bill.
Ooh.
They said this is like a January cold front. Our high is only going to be like in the 70s on Wednesday.
Oh, wow. A lot of unrest over there. So what's going on? How did, obviously, not everyone listening knows, but you lost power.
Yes, I did. I lost power Wednesday. The storm started like
Wednesday night. It really kicked in.
Yeah, it really kicked in. But all day Wednesday, it was kind of off and on. We'd look and say, okay, let's get Rhodey out for his walk because it might be 10 hours before he gets a quick pee break. So pretty much by noon on, it was just cloudy and windy.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever lived through a hurricane? You have. Yeah. I mean, you've obviously been around. Gloria, you were a baby.
Yeah, but like
Bob was my senior year, senior 10th. So you would have been 8. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Bob?
So when Hurricane Bob hit, we were in Lake George.
Oh, okay.
So we missed it.
It was basically end of the summer. I remember everybody was getting ready to go off to their college of their choices, and it was like kind of like our last hurrah. Yeah, mid to late August, I believe Bob was up in Rhode Island.
But we had the Sandy not that long ago when I was in Westerly. That was
Sandy. Was that the winter one though?
No,
that was a regular.
It was like this time of year, maybe middle September, early October, and that's where like there was tons of damage at the beaches, like all the dunes washed away and stuff in Rhode Island. I don't even think it was technically a hurricane, but the storm surge was pretty bad.
Okay.
But it hasn't really been a bad one for me. But
they just weaken so much when they get up into the cold Atlantic.
Right.
Because one of the telltales of a hurricane is like you look up and you see the clouds and they're fast. They're moving really fast. Like it's like nothing else you've seen. You just look up and you'll just see this cloud and it's just like moving.
Oh, really?
And you're like, yeah, that's like the front end. It's just because the thing's going 20 miles an hour and you can just see that thing moving. You're like, yep, here it comes.
That's crazy. So your power basically went out right at the beginning, like Wednesday night?
Yeah, Wednesday night. We got through maybe about an hour and a half or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started flickering. And then it went off and it came back on. I'm like, yeah,
not a good sign.
For Ian, we did not lose power at all. The 2 years ago when we had Ian, then a year or 2 before that, we were renting a place when we were building this. That was Hurricane Irma, and we were only down for 12 hours. So when the power went out, I thought we might be in decent shape.
Yeah. But you were not.
No, we were not. No.
So power went out, and then the storm really picked up. And you said it was bad. You thought your doors were gonna blow open.
Yeah, I was sitting in the studio because we had all of our hurricane shutters up,
Mhm.
and I have that clear door, and that's actually hurricane glass.
Okay.
So it's impact glass, so you're good to go. So it's just nice to be able to just look out and see what was going on. And you look in the street and it was like a river because the wind was blowing the rain so hard it just sideways.
Yeah.
And it did. It sounded like that door wanted to come open. It was howling.
So that's the worst you've ever dealt with as
Oh
far as
my
winds.
God, not even close. Yes.
Yeah. Because it was still a 4 when it got to you guys, right?
Yeah, it was. They had thought it might weaken because of the jet stream. They thought it was going to weaken it down to a 3, but it was a 4 when it came on shore.
And you're far enough inland where you weren't in like a flood
That's
watch.
correct. We're in flood zone NA.
Non-applicable.
Right. But there are actually some houses that are down toward the river. We're like 30 feet higher than some parts. I mean, you've walked by the houses
Yeah.
by the pool, and that's over by the river. So they're about 20 feet below us. So I think they might be in C or D. So they're still not in a flood zone. But if we were to get like a once every 500, they might
Get some
get
some
some.
problem.
Yeah.
So you weren't even in like an evacuation.
No, not even. No.
Yeah.
No. And that's the thing. Everybody freaks out. You got to get out. You got to get out. I'm like, okay, first of all, we're not in an evac zone. B, our houses are built to withstand a Cat 5.
Right.
So we're in the safest place. You got your window. You bring all your stuff in. Just don't be stupid. I did put the hurricane shutters up this time. My cousin
Yeah.
came over and gave me a hand, helped me out. It's so much easier with 2 people.
Oh yeah, I bet.
You know those jobs that would have taken you 3 hours, but if
Yeah.
you and Doc are out there, it's just you
20
just need
minutes.
a
Yeah.
hand to help you. That's the thing. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you were in an evacuation zone, you probably would have left.
Oh, I would have left in a heartbeat. I don't wanna go that way, and they were really the authorities were really drilling people. They said, "Look,
Yeah.
it's really gonna be bad overnight. It's gonna be pitch black, and water's gonna be coming into your house, and it's gonna be raising up all your furniture. Like, do you wanna be on your bed as water's overtaking you?"
Right.
And I'm like, God, how eerie is that? It's bad enough if it's during the day. But you're there at night, you can't see anything, and all you can hear is that your house is being overtaken by water. That's way too eerie.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, I haven't really heard a lot in the aftermath, but it seems like most people got out of town that were supposed to.
They did. They said that they did a great job people getting out of town. I looked at before we lost power, there were tons of people going to Orlando, Miami,
Yeah.
um, up north, Tallahassee, you name it. The only thing I don't know if you guys saw, did you see anything about Lieutenant Dan?
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know how he made it through on his boat. That doesn't
he's
make
on
a
a
lot of sense.
sailboat. Wasn't that insane in Tampa Bay, Lieutenant Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Cantori was interviewing him, and then I saw like a couple of the locals were trying to get him to take
leave.
refuge, and he said, "Nope, I'm staying."
Yeah, I don't get that part. But how'd the outside of your house make out? Anything go
Yeah, we
sideways?
lost a lot of screens.
Yeah, on the
We
lanai.
lost a lot. I was looking out, and it was just you could hear it. I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way." You don't want the cage to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Because those
like
are supposedly made to withstand it, right? The screens,
they're supposed to,
but there's only so much
right?
realistically.
Because you just take a freaking beating.
Yeah. So, and I also assume that's probably a long list of people who are waiting for their screens to be replaced also.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like, cause we got up the next day and we took him for a walk and kind of wanted to see the damage. And it's crazy because you can see the wind fields.
Yeah.
It's like the same street where people's lanterns, those lanterns that we have in the front yard that go on during the night. 2 or 3 houses in a row, they just snapped in half.
Oh, really?
But then you go around the corner, there was no damage. So it's like it's like the same wind field. Like when it comes on shore, it's blowing
Yeah.
east to west or whatever it is. And um trying to think. The one guy, his pool cage came apart. So one
geez.
of the columns came apart. He lost a few. We lost a lot. I want to say 7 or 8
Screens.
screens.
Yeah, that stinks.
My pool was trash. I think I sent you guys a picture of that. There was a screen at the bottom of my pool.
Oh, jeez.
So my pool was trash, and then we lost a couple of roof shingles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, they're on the corner. A lot of people have lost them. It's
Yeah.
just a matter. You just get a roofer up here. I mean, it's like 2 or 3. It's not like, you have to put a whole new roof on.
That's true. Yeah.
Luckily it's the end of pool season because it sucks being out there without the screens.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And even that, like you said, you had your pool. Obviously, that was the least of your concerns, but your pool wasn't running for, 5 days, and it just got
Yeah,
all
because I was
algae and
thinking
stuff.
about cleaning it. I'm like, well, what's the point? I was gonna clean it beforehand. I'm like, what's the point? And it
Yeah.
was just that mustard algae, and it was
Takes no time for that to take over,
it
huh? In
really
that
doesn't. It
kind of
took
weather.
over in 3 days, especially when you're not running the filter and you're not
Right.
circulating that water. I mean, it was borderline getting to be brown.
Yeah. That bounces back pretty quick, though. You get your chemicals in there, it usually bounces back in a
I'll tell you
couple
what,
days,
I'm a
right?
good pool boy because when we got power yesterday, I vacuumed, I skimmed, and then I scrubbed, and then I vacuumed again, and then I skimmed again, and then I put the stop yellow in, and then
Yeah.
an hour later, I put my 2.5 gallons of chlorine shock in, and today it's in great shape.
Yeah, it already looks good.
It's swimmable. It's crazy. I ran the filter all night because it usually
Sure.
shuts off. It's 8 to 4, but then I ran it for another 12 hours from 4 in the afternoon to 4 at night. And then it kicked back on in the morning and ran another 8 hours. So it's been running continuous.
Yeah, just get it back to where it needs to be. But, so overall, not too bad. Did you put the cars in the garage for this, or did you
No, because we had all of the stuff for the pool.
Oh, true, all the outside stuff, yeah.
We had all the outside stuff, so we left the cars out. No issues.
Nothing happened. 'Cause that's
No.
what I'd be worried about, like, something flying like a shingle flying off someone's house and going
Oh,
through your
sure.
windshield or something.
I think one of the bigger concerns was that they had that hurricane a week before, that Helene or
Right, and there was a lot of debris that was
oh
just gonna
my
turn into, like,
god,
missiles.
it
Yeah,
was gonna be missiles. They couldn't get this stuff. They couldn't get it picked up.
right. I have to say, though, I mean, obviously, like, Tropicana Field's destroyed and the airport took a beating, but it seems like overall it wasn't, and I think because people evacuated, it wasn't as bad as it could have been because so many people got out, and there wasn't a lot of loss of life that I heard.
Not that I heard. I was talking to my, guy who lives down the street. He's a deputy in Pinellas County,
Yeah.
and his car was gone all week, and I'm like, I wonder if he's, like, living in headquarters. So he was home this afternoon when I was walking Roy. So I said, "So what's the deal?" I said, "Did you live up there?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We got a verbo." He
Hmm.
said, "Because the sheriff basically told us if we don't come to work, we get fired." He's like, "If you can't get over the Sunshine Skyway," he's like, "Don't bother coming back the next week." And
And they closed it.
they closed the Skyway, so
Yeah.
you had to get to work. And he said to him and his partner just did a verbo. He said and they were working basically 16-hour shifts and going back to their verbo and getting a little bit of shut eye.
Yeah.
But he told me, he said it's bad up there. He said St. Pete Beach is just decimated.
Yeah.
And down south where we lived when we first rented, one of the piers down there just got absolutely destroyed.
Hmm. That's crazy. I think the most, like, devastating part was before when those tornadoes came through.
Yeah,
And
over at, like on the East Coast.
yeah,
I think most of the deaths happened then because that was
that's what I
again
heard.
early on. That was
Yeah.
hours before, and I had the weather on, the local weather, and they were showing their affiliate down in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and it was crazy because they were asking a meteorologist. They said that they can tell from the wind field that they were F3 tornadoes.
Hmm.
And they said, "Is that normal?" They said, "No." They said, "Normally you get it like F0 to a low grade F1." in
Wow.
hurricanes. They said an F3 is completely unheard of in a hurricane.
That's crazy. So as far as things for you, I mean, obviously the inconvenience of losing power wasn't fun, but other than
It was
that, you guys
miserable.
made it through pretty good.
Yeah, my concern, I mean, it's not a huge concern, but I just didn't wanna lose everything in the refrigerator.
Right.
Oh, God forbid I have to replace $200 worth of steaks, boo-hoo, but it's like, oh, no, like, who knows how long we're gonna be out.
That's not even like losing the food. It's just like the inconvenience of having to go through it and like
Yeah,
clean it out and throw everything away if everything goes rotten in the
and
fridge.
guess what? You don't have a garbage disposal.
Right.
So if things are starting to go bad, yeah, I can pour the milk down the drain.
Yeah, and then garbage pickup's not coming, so it'll just be sitting in your
Garbage pickup.
garage. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, you wanna put a bunch
Rotting
of
meat.
rotten steaks in your
Yeah.
garage, and next thing you know, you got maggots and all
Right.
sorts of flies. 'Cause we were farting around outside, and our neighbors, he just bought a generator, and she said, "If you guys wanna come over and make coffee, by all means." So Kristen grabbed a Keurig. She goes and I said, "You going over?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah." So we went over and we made coffee, and he's like, "This thing's overkill." He's like, "I got a couple extra plugs if you wanna plug something in." And I'm like, "Can I plug in my, refrigerator?" He's like, "Yeah." So I went over to Kurt's and got a few of his big extension cords.
Oh, so you could run it through the yard or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I could run that, and then one of his extension cords had, like, 3 outlets, so we were able to plug our phones in and charge a few things up, but the main priority was just to keep that refrigerator.
Yeah, because other than that, there wasn't really anything, because you could even go in your car and charge the phone if you had to in an
Yeah,
emergency.
worst case, I could, but, like, I don't have a computer, so there's no reason to be
Yeah,
or internet was down for a while, so it's not like I need my personal computer.
true.
And then the other thing is our water comes from our refrigerator.
Oh, that's
So
right.
when you
'Cause
don't have power, you don't have so we had a lot of backup water just in case,
yeah,
we needed to go 3 days of drinking water.
right. Now, what'd you do for meals? Because you have gas stove, so you could cook, right? Once the
No,
refrigerator.
I have electric.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you just do takeout afterwards?
No, so, we made a gravy on, the night that it happened.
Yeah.
So the plan was if we were up to do chicken parm, but we did, meatballs, sausage, and pasta.
Okay.
So we had that Wednesday night, I had that Wednesday afternoon, I had that Wednesday night. At that time, it's cold pasta.
Yeah. Right.
Um, then I improvised. I took the cast iron,
Oh, okay.
and, I made some
Put it on
steak
the grill.
sandwiches. I put it on the grill, and I had my, shaved ribeye,
Oh, there you go.
and I made some, some nice cut up some mushrooms and made some steak sandwiches.
So you made do with the grill. You had enough propane to get you through for that.
I'll tell you what too, you learn too because we wanted meatball sandwiches. We had some, mozzarella cheese.
Yeah.
So I said, "All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make the sandwiches, wrap them in tin foil, and I'm gonna put them on the top, uh,
Oh, the
part of
top
the grill."
grill. Yeah.
Yep. So we did that. It came out really good.
Nice.
It's amazing, like, how you can just figure things out when you really need to.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, I would never think to make steak sandwiches out of a grill on a grill, would you?
no, you just do it in the pan because it's easier.
It's easier, right?
Oh, that's good. That worked out then. It must have been miserable trying to sleep when it's all hot and muggy like that.
The last day, she slept in the front because there was a breeze, but I looked on my Whoop and, like, all of my numbers, like, my skin temperature was out of whack, my respiratory was out of whack, my, resting heart rate was through the roof. It's
Ugh.
miserable, and it just started to smell.
Yeah.
You just have, like, the bananas smell. It's funny how bananas smell when it's warm out, but they don't go bad, they're fine, but they smell when it's warm out.
Yeah.
And, we'd walk him, and he'd come back. He couldn't cool off because the AC is not on, so he
Right.
was panting for 4 days. And you know me with my OCD. Not my OCD, but my ADD. I need
Right.
TV. I got the Jets game on over here. I gotta look at my phone. I mean, I need to be entertained 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was nice though, old school, once once we got our cell service back, because again, we were without cell service for 2 straight days.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
It's weird because like if I ran an errand, it would ping something, and then I'd have a bunch of like messages from you guys and some text. But then the text wouldn't go through. It would still say like sending, 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 and then it would drain your battery. So I'd shut that off because I don't want to drain my battery. Because I think we went what, about a day or two where we didn't communicate.
Yeah, by Thursday night. But I saw that you like got the message, so I knew someone was using your phone. I thought maybe it was a firefighter.
Oh,
Like,
it said like
rescuing.
received or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I wasn't too worried about it. But yeah, that stinks. Not fun.
No, they're just a giant pain in the orifice.
Well, it's just inevitable too. It's not like when you get a snowstorm, they're like, oh, maybe it'll break up. It won't be as bad. It'll warm up a little bit. It's like, it's not doing anything.
You get to that one day before, and it's like it's not going anywhere. They're like it's too late for it to go off to sea.
It's too big. It's not going. It has nowhere to go. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Still, I can't believe the trop though.
Again, that place was supposedly made to withstand a Cat 5, and it lost all that whole roof.
Yeah. Pretty wild. But I don't know what else you have. I know you wanted to talk about the hurricane a little bit. Anything else you wanted to mention?
Trying to think. Gas was miserable.
Oh, going to get gas before or after, or both?
After, you couldn't get it.
Yeah.
You couldn't get it after. It was awful.
Yeah, just everything was sold out, or because they didn't have power, the pumps weren't working.
No, the pumps were working. Nothing. It wasn't sold out, but I guess for the first day or two, they had problems getting it out of the port of Tampa because they had flooding up there.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Okay.
So the tankers couldn't get out. So then the lines were ridiculous. Like people were stopped on the main roads,
waiting to get in the gas station,
turning into the gas station. Then they had to have the cops were at all the gas stations too, because there was fights and people cutting lines. And I was listening to the radio this morning. There was a tanker. He said that people would follow them
to whatever gas station they were
going to. I'm like, that makes sense. He's like, but we'd have, and then they would call their buddies, say, all right, we're on State Road 70 and we're going east. And I think, and they just have a caravan of cars following these tankers around.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense, especially because people with their generators,
you need it for your generator.
You need the gas. It probably like you didn't have to leave your house, so people didn't really need the gas for their cars. They probably needed it for their generators more than anything.
That's what they needed. And there was a time on Saturday where, you looked and you saw the water light was out. I'm like, oh no, Justin's out of gas.
Yeah.
So he headed out, and then I went out. I tried to get gas, and we both got home at the same time. And I saw him. He's got a pickup truck, and he pulled out. So I'm like, we good? He's like, yeah, we got another 12 hours or whatever. And then he ran out the next day. And it's at the, I was going to text Kurt because he never lost power.
Oh, really?
And you're basically like, can I use your gas? Like, how often do you ask your neighbor, can I have your 5-gallon unleaded?
Can I borrow your gas for your lawnmower?
Holy mackerel. Yeah. Like even all the garbage food at Publix was taken because we went there.
Oh yeah,
all the pre-made foods, like all the good stuff, all the chicken wings, all the
Because think about it. If you don't have power to cook, what are you going to get? Just whatever is already edible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. The sound of the generators must have drove you nuts for days.
You know what it was? And Susie's like, I never thought of it. You know what it sounds like?
Snowblowers.
Yes, just the day after the blizzard, you just it drives you nuts.
Walking the dog, and all you hear is like 30 of them as you go.
Yep.
Yeah, everywhere.
And you just look, and it's all defeated men. They're miserable, and they want to leave, but their wives won't let them leave. It was like when you were having beers on the balcony, and you kind of give the golfer the tight lip nod. Like you guys were all just like. Hot, you've been at the parks, your kids are being a pain in the orifice. You just kind of bottoms up, give them the cheer, and
it's like 11:15 in the morning. You get your Coors Light, and
tough morning so far. It's been tough.
Oh man, yeah, the generator noise. enough to drive a
You
man
guys
crazy.
don't mess around with generators, do you?
I mean, people have them because of that. We lost power. A lot of people lost power in that winter storm a few years ago, where they were out for a while. So more people have them now. I don't have one.
It's usually after because we're probably gonna look at getting one.
Yeah,
I mean, Kurt has a nice one. And it's not super expensive, but his plugs right into like his
his
fuse box
breaker.
and
Yeah,
the outside breaker.
so he's got a whole home generator then.
Yeah, you
One of
can.
those.
Yeah, like we could get even a smaller one, but it would be easier just to plug it in there because then you can run. I can choose because what he does is he just shuts all his breakers off, and then
Gotcha.
he decides what he wants. So I could have just the office and a bathroom.
And the
Or the
kitchen.
kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that
even the
makes sense.
bathroom, you go walking in, you got your flashlight. We're using like our lights that we put on our hats when we're
Oh.
in the morning.
Yeah.
It does though. It puts a lot in perspective. Like she's like, you watch Little House on the Prairie, and it makes sense before electricity that people went to bed early.
Yeah. What
I'm
else
like,
you
yeah,
gonna
you're
do?
pretty much up during sunlight.
That's it. Yeah. Take advantage of it.
Like you can't sleep in if you have no electricity. Like you have to. Like I was waking up at like 5:30, and I'm like, what time is sunrise? And it would be like 7:05. I'm like, God, I still got another hour and a half.
Before the
And you'd
sun
have
comes
that
up.
dusk where you're like, yep, I'm gonna be able to go to the bathroom without falling on my head.
Oh man.
Yep.
Now, did you have to go without sauce for the whole time? Like, what was your sauce situation?
You could still do the vodka tonics.
You had the ice machine was working enough to make
Well,
that
it
work?
was still my freezer was still working.
That's true. Okay,
'Cause I
so
was
you had
plugged
enough.
in. I'll tell you what, though, the
Because that would
people.
be bad too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if anything, you gotta have sauce during that, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
I was thinking about taking up maybe some illegal products at that time. I didn't wanna go door to door asking if they got mushrooms or
you,
edibles or whatnot, but
you
you
were
get
gonna go the Aaron Rodgers route, do some ayahuasca or whatever.
what is that? Are those like is that like
I have no idea.
oh.
It, it's a psychedelic, I guess.
But the freaking Karens in this neighborhood, oh
Oh,
my
man.
god, it's the same 10 people who are complaining about the construction across their way. They're just bitching about them. I'm like, "You serious, guys?" Like, people have lost their businesses, their restaurants, you name it, and we're without power for 3 days, and you're losing your freaking mind.
Is it the construction's fault that the hurricane caused the power to go out?
No, but, we lost, a lift station. So there was
Oh, okay.
sewerage in the streets and going into one of the retention ponds.
Oh, gotcha.
So that wasn't because we lost electricity, that was because of the construction going across the street,
I see.
according to a few of our environmental experts. But yeah, like, there's 2 different power companies, Peace River and FPL. So a bunch of people we have Peace River, they got up, like, the first night, second night, so there were about 80 houses here who were still without electricity. We gotta call them, collectively just keep bothering them. I'm like, I can't do that, doesn't make sense to me. So then the last day a guy came in, he was kinda checking boxes and stuff. We were walking a dog, and Kristen's like, "I just wanna say thank you, for your hard work. We appreciate what you do, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Oh, thanks for saying that." And then an hour later, somebody's like, "Yeah, I was talking to the guy, and he said blah." I said, "Yeah, you interrogated that poor bastard. He's working 18 hours a day, and you're supervisor Bill over here. So what are you working on? When are we all gonna be up?" It's like, just let the guy do his job.
Right, exactly.
We got a lot of Sallys in here, though, Pi. I'm sure you do too. It's louder here with Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. You're in the groups. That's the problem. You love it though.
I do to a point. I blocked a lot of people on Facebook parts because I realized I didn't have Facebook.
Yeah.
And then you get on and there's devastation in Florida. And what are you reading? Vote for this person.
Yeah.
This person's evil. Vote for this person. You're dumb if you don't agree with me politically. Oh, it's just all the noise. Like I haven't told you about my friend because I
Oh.
unfollowed her.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You fired her.
I did not fire her. You still
Oh.
have to keep that train wreck around.
So you like muted it then?
Muted it. I can't
Yeah, that's fine.
deal with the noise. You've muted people. You have to, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes for sanity reasons. Do you want to talk a little DVC since we have a few minutes left here?
Fine with that.
Did you in Lost in All the Shuffle, I got my points loaded from my new contract.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of being a Sally, you weren't upset about the hurricane coming through here. You were upset because it was delaying your points being
Yeah,
loaded.
I was upfront about it though. At least I was honest. I think my exact quote was, "Is it bad if I'm more upset about the hurricane potentially delaying my points being loaded than the devastation?"
That's messed up.
But at least I knew it's messed up.
I would hope you know it's messed up. You don't need somebody who's completely messed up like me to tell you how messed up it is. I mean, let's think about that for a second.
So listen, you got your contract loaded on a Monday, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And your points were loaded on a Thursday.
Mhm.
My
Yeah, that's
contract was
100% correct.
my contract was loaded on a Sunday, and my points weren't loaded until Sunday.
Yeah,
Or Saturday.
we had some infrastructure problems down here, parts.
They work from home. The DVC people work from home. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think they had power.
Fair enough. They had other things. They were dealing with a lot of cancellations and reservations and things like that.
They
last
were.
minute. But yeah, I got my points loaded, front loaded. I already spent 88 of them right out the door.
Well, you had 200 out of your 100-point contract.
Yeah, so I had 100 banked.
Okay, so you have to use the rest of these.
I have 12 points I have to use
by the end of this year or by the end of November.
Not this November, following. They're already banked into 2024, which my use year hasn't even started yet because I'm a December use year.
That's right. I got you. Okay.
So I have until November 30th, 2025 to use those 12 points. But I will end up using them because the 88 points that I booked a club level, one bedroom at Animal Kingdom.
I saw that. That's a lot of points, isn't it?
I'm so excited for it, though.
It's a lot of points. You're definitely bringing me up, right?
Oh, if you're there.
Well, if I'm not, I'm going to come up there and hang out with you guys.
That's true. That's a smart play. And then what I would do is because the nights that I was extending the July trip, there's one night in between. So now I have to book an extra night. So I'm going to use those last 12 points for that extra night. But I'm going to wait until the 7 months so I can figure out and utilize all the points properly. I don't want to mess up and borrow, because once you borrow, you can't push them back, right?
Right. I don't know.
So I got to wait because those 12 points, I can't use those yet until the 7 month mark. So we'll figure it out. We'll get there together. But it's so nice seeing, because I was starting to get the shakes only having 19 points for the next 2 years. That's not good, is it?
19 points for 2 years?
Well, I borrowed all my 2025 points for the 2-bedroom that I booked in July.
Oh my God.
Because I'm going with my sister and her weasels. So I had to borrow almost all of my 2025 allotment. It only left me with 19 points for 2025. So I would have been.
So you only have 19 points when they reload in 2025, December of 2025. So
on my Saratoga
contract 2026.
Right. I would have had to borrow from 2020. Yeah, exactly. If I wanted to.
Oh, you don't have anywhere near enough points.
Well, not if I'm booking 2 bedrooms for a week every year.
Yeah, no, I don't even think this new 100 pointer is going to be
sufficient.
No, you're in dire need of more points.
I don't think I can even justify it yet because
it's not a matter of justifying it. You are burning cash.
But I have
at a disgusting rate right now.
So I have 260 points now every year, right?
Well, and not really, because you only have 12 next year.
Well, I'm going to have 219 now next year because I'll be able to bank those 100 from Animal Kingdom.
I'm concerned.
And then I'll get another 100 for the regular use year. So I'm going to have 219 for 2025 now. Regardless, a week in a 2-bedroom was 260 points. It was like 258.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. But you're the one you might want. Here's what you need to do.
But what I'm saying is, I have 260 points. So if I can get a week in a 2-bedroom for 260, I mean that's.
Here, listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
All right. So have you talked to your sister about what type of budget they would possibly have?
Oh, you want me, and then buy another contract with whatever?
Yeah, can you squeeze like a couple $1,000s and get a small contract?
You think like if they throw me like $2,500 and I buy
That's
like a
gonna go
10
right
point
toward a contract.
right to a contract.
Yes.
It's not a bad play either.
I mean, you could I know you hate the maintenance fees, but you could get maybe squeeze 50 out of Vero Beach.
Yeah, that's a lot. 50 out of Vero Beach is gonna cost me about $1,200 a year in maintenance fees.
Yeah,
So
but you know what it is? You're so screwed right now, is that you're
I'm in
just
good
starting to
shape.
bounce things around credit cards, and you gotta eat tonight and then figure tomorrow out later because
I'm
you're
good. No, this Animal Kingdom's gonna keep me fed for a while.
I'm worried.
Front loaded with 200 points in the first year.
You're blowing 44 a night right now. You just smoked 88 points for
I
2
had
nights.
to use those. Those were use it or lose it points.
Oh, I know, but still.
And what's a better way to use those points that you have to burn?
I agree. I agree. That's why wouldn't it be better to have a few more points so that you could use it for burn? Now
That's
you can
good.
have like your good conservative points. These are our family vacations. This is oh, honey, I just found that they have a 1-bedroom for a couple nights around Christmas. Let's go down to Animal. Oh, and by the way, did I mention that Southwest has some sweet deals right now?
Yeah, that's a good point. I could always borrow from my favorite cousin because he has more points than he can use. They can do that one-time transfer.
I could do that, not a problem. I mean, I've already got you waitlisted for Riviera in December.
Now, my question is, if you do a one-time transfer,
Yeah.
can I use those points at like Riviera, or does it go into my contract where I have
No, it's my contract. So
if
you would have the 11 months only at Riviera.
So if you sent me 50 points out of your Riviera contract, let's say,
Yep,
I would have to book a Riviera room.
that is correct.
Okay. I didn't know how it worked. I've never done it, so
Yeah.
I'm not trying to weasel it. I just didn't know how it worked at all. Because that would be a way you could wash points. So that makes sense that they don't do that.
Point washing.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like laundering points.
What was the name of that guy? The chemistry teacher, Walter?
Oh, Walter White. Yeah, he has the car wash.
Yeah, we're washing.
You know what I mean? Like you get someone that has their direct contract, and then you start like sending them all the resale points and one-time transfers. That gives you an advantage.
They're such a dumb company. You think we could figure out some dirty thing?
I don't
And
know.
their apps don't work. People with resale contracts are buying annual passes to get
I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know about
20%
that.
off merchandise. I mean, there's so many chinks in that armor right now. It's just point washing. Got the DVC resale market, and then you have us point just like mafia guys. We got like these big necklaces.
They're sending the points to you. You send them back. Now they can book at the cabins and stuff
Yes.
for a small fee, of course.
Oh well, of course you have to add a little convenience fee. We're all businessmen, are we not?
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. I don't have anything else, so I just wanted to make it known that my points are loaded and I already spent.
That your points are loaded and you already blew them.
I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever been more excited than the club level.
I am too. I was like looking because I'm like, maybe I'll stay with them. I'm sure if I can wait list, a 1-bedroom's got to become available. If not, you'll just take me, right? I'll just come and use one of your bands and.
Yeah, do they check every person's band?
No. You basically just when we were at Yacht Club, you just needed it to take the elevator to the 5th floor.
So once you go out, they just let you go in. They don't check you in or anything?
Nah.
I mean, I assume if you abuse it, like if I'm bringing 35 people in.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to. It's no different from like you taking us to the pool. Like you weren't. I've been to that pool a million times. Like I want to go to the pool to hang out with you guys. It's not like I'm bringing my neighbors and we're completely screwing other guests. Like we didn't even take up any room. We're upstairs where there was nobody up there.
Because I didn't know, like, the first day when we switch over, if the weasels with my sister are still there, like, can we take them in?
Oh,
before
yeah.
they head to the airport?
Sure, yeah.
It's only 8 people's not too many.
I mean,
and then you're there coming in, hey, Pards.
If you send me a couple of your bands, I might be there beforehand.
Well, I'm already going to be there, so.
Oh, okay.
It'd be rope dropping club level.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
I mean, that was one of the reasons why, like, I leaned towards Animal Kingdom was the
You're gonna be
chance
a
at those club
disaster
levels.
after this first club level stay.
I'm gonna need more points there.
Oh, you just sit up there and just drink beer. You bring them back to your room and sit on your balcony. It's so beautiful.
They make cocktails there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
not just like beer and wine. You can get like mixed drinks and
Yeah.
stuff. That's beautiful. And the food looks decent. I was looking at some of the food
Oh, the
reviews.
food looks amazing. Because I heard it comes from Chico and Boma.
Yeah. Yeah, they have like some of the soups and the zebra domes and stuff like that.
It didn't take you long, did it?
I'm gonna be a disaster for that. Well, think of this trip. Go from a 2-bedroom then to a club level at the end of the trip.
You'll never, ever, ever stay in a studio after this, will you?
Maybe. If we want to stretch our points, we could. Like for the weekend, like we're doing in December, like it's worth it for a studio if we're just doing like a quick trip that we're gonna concentrate on the parks to extend the points, but yeah, probably not too many studios in my future after this one.
Nah.
Because even a 1-bedroom, I know the point value isn't really great there, but having the kitchen and the laundry is such a nice
So
thing.
beautiful, isn't it?
And being able to shut that door away from the weasels from the kids.
Is that what you'll do?
Yeah, because
Did
they're
you
gonna.
just hang out in your studio and just let them sit out in that main area?
Well, yeah, because I'm not gonna sleep on that bed, on the Murphy bed. I'm gonna sleep in the king bed in the 1-bedroom.
Right.
So yeah, at bedtime they could do their thing. We'll hang out in the bedroom if we want. But I don't know. Really, the 2-bedroom's the way to go, right? So then you still have
For 11 extra points, are you freaking kidding me? Of course, that's the only way to go. The girls both get queens.
and you get the full, especially like if I can really work it with the value
Oh,
2-bedroom.
yeah.
Oh, those things are cheap.
They are really cheap.
You can get like a week for 200 points. One of those things.
A 2-bedroom value, that's so gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm a disaster already.
Yeah, you get that second contract and you see that your home resorts,
Yeah,
and you see both of them there. Isn't it beautiful?
it's a nice thing.
How many
bit-
people do you think have all of them as home resorts? You think there's a couple or no?
Everyone, because that means they'd have to buy into the cabins. They'd have to buy into Disneyland Hotel, Grand Cal. There's some. There's obviously got to be some. There's so many people. The numbers are there, but it can't be more than 100, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
You think it's more than 100 people have every resort?
I mean, first of all, you gotta have that type of billfold, and then you have to be completely out of your mind like you and I. Like, if we're like a Bill Gates, there's no doubt that we're gonna have home resorts at every resort.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Just
why
'cause-
would you not want Hilton Head? Because you wanna be able to, "Hey, I might wanna go down there for a weekend
True.
or for 4 or 5 days, and I wanna be able to have the 11-month booking window." So I gotta own there.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
If there is anybody out there who owns it more than 5 resorts, email us, info@addictedtodvc.com. We'd
That'd be
love to
great.
have you on the show.
Yeah. But I don't have anything else to add here. Do you, Pards?
No, we've got some good shows coming up.
I like it.
We've got a lot of Riviera to talk about. We have somebody who stayed in the Grand Villa.
Oh, at Riviera.
Yes.
Talk about blowing points, Pards.
We have a Grand Villa stay. We have a Hurricane stay.
Oh, boy.
And then we have our buddy who runs that amazing website that both of us found our contracts on.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to say his name because I don't want to blow the surprise.
No.
It might be my favorite name in the world.
It's a phenomenal name.
It's a great name.
It's a phenomenal name.
I can't wait to have him on.
Yeah, so we've got some good guests coming on. If anybody wants to come on the show, hit us up at social media.
Absolutely.
Or email us at info@addictedtodvc.com.
Yep. All right, bring us on, Pards.
Anyways, I'll wrap us up. You can find us, as I mentioned, on all socials at DVC Addicts. Email the show, info@addictedtodvc.com, and join our Facebook group, DVC Addicts. For my cousin and co-host, Gary in Rhode Island, I'm Mike in sunny Sarasota, Florida. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you for listening to the Addicted to DVC podcast with Mike and Gary. We want to hear from you. Email us at info@addictedtodvc.com and follow us on all socials at DVC Addicts. We appreciate you being a part of our DVC community, and we'll see you again on our next episode. Thanks again for listening, and welcome home.